Hey guys, LevelCap here and welcome to This Week in Gaming, your weekly news recap on everything going on in the world of video games. And this week, DICE laid out their plans based on the feedback from the Battlefield 6 beta. Activision revealed Black Ops 7 gameplay, Hell Let Loose announced a Vietnam sequel, and much more. DICE are making several key changes to Battlefield 6 following feedback from the beta. Weapon balance is being refined with a greater emphasis on tap and burst firing. The M87A1 shotgun is also getting a nerf, requiring more pellets to hit for a kill shot. The devs are also investigating time to kill and time to death discrepancies that players reported, like dying in a single frame or around a corner. Movement was a big topic of feedback as well, and DICE are making some changes here. Momentum is being reduced across the board with the biggest impact to horizontal movement and jumping. The maximum jump height penalty for repeatedly jumping is getting more severe, firing while jumping or sliding is going to become less accurate, and parachute physics are being tuned to prevent players from literally flying across the map. Obvious map design issues like out-of-bounds exploits are being patched up. DICE also says that players looking for larger scale maps will be excited by the Operation Firestorm remake in Muroc Valley, which will be in the Battlefield Labs playtest soon. As for modes, DICE justified shrinking Rush down to 12v12 experience based on their playtest and suggested that players interested in a more large-scale format should play Breakthrough, which is what it's intended for. DICE are also continuing their work on map balance to ensure a more 50-50 ratio when it comes to attacker and defender win-losses. Finally, the playlist options in the final game will still include open and closed weapon options with more mode-specific playlists across the board to make finding matches easier. Unfortunately, DICE didn't comment on some other hot topic issues. For example, the main menu UI and options menu was a bit of a mess during the beta, and they didn't mention anything about updating this. And again, no comment on player visibility or the aggressive spotting system. Now, the fact that DICE seems to be acting on at least the majority of the feedback from the beta and making, in my opinion, generally good decisions, and the fact that they're also going to be testing in labs up until the launch bodes pretty well for the release, I think. Likely, any bigger issues that they didn't mention are things that they probably didn't have time to address before launch, but might be things that they're willing to address later down the road. Now, in a bit of related Battlefield news, Battlefield 2042 got a surprise update to kick off the Road to Battlefield 6 event with a new remake of the Iwo Jima map and a free battle pass that includes rewards for the upcoming game. This event, combined with a discount bringing the price of 2042 down to just $3, has led to a massive spike in concurrent players nearing 50,000. While things seem to be going well for Battlefield, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 isn't going down so well with fans. Activision released a gameplay trailer for the upcoming game, and it looks like a soft remake of Black Ops 3, for better or worse. Black Ops 7 will mark the return of wall running, jump jets, a sci-fi near-future setting, and robots. Cosmetics from Black Ops 6 will also carry over to the new game, which has fans frustrated. Recent crossover events with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Gundam, and American Dad have pushed the franchise even deeper into its cartoon lunacy phase. Devs on the game say that they're aware of player backlash to these more outlandish skins and are refocusing on more grounded offerings in Black Ops 7. Of course, the Vault edition of the game comes with a handful of, well, let's just say they're not exactly the boots-on-the-ground military skins players are hoping for. Black Ops 7 launches on November 14th. A sequel to Hell Let Loose was announced this week that takes the game's tactical and large-scale gameplay to Vietnam. It'll feature 50 versus 50 multiplayer with expanded vehicles and infantry gameplay across land, sea, and air. At launch, it'll offer 6 maps. There will also be a tunnel system to expand on the original game's strategic combat options. Both games will continue to get updates with new content. Sony has increased the price of the PlayStation 5 in the US. This follows a price increase across many other countries around the world. Sony made a statement saying that similar to many global businesses, we continue to navigate a challenging economic environment. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price for the PlayStation 5 console. The new base price for the PS5 is $550, the PlayStation 5 Digital is $500 flat, and the PlayStation 5 Pro will be $750. The US trade war with China and the current tariff systems are likely leading to a lot of these costs, even globally, due to supply lines and an upstream cost increase that generally ripples through a global market. Microsoft might have a fix for PC gamers that hate stuttering games. They're working to deploy a new automatic shader delivery system via their Xbox app on PC that'll help reduce initial load times and shader compilation processes by bundling the required data with the game downloads. Stuttering caused by shaders being compiled in real time has proven to be a major annoyance on PC, but because they need to be compiled based on the user's hardware, there hasn't been a way of easily distributing pre-compiled shader packs. Microsoft says that they worked with Asus to offer advanced shader delivery to Asus ROG's Xbox Ally handheld gaming consoles that are launching on October 16th. And while it seems like this feature will be exclusive to the Ally for now, Microsoft says they're working to make it easier to implement without requiring developers to participate directly. It sounds like Valve may be working on a home console to complement their wildly successful Steam Deck. The Valve Fremont is a prototype device that recently popped up on Geekbench's benchmark results. It features what is likely an AMD Ryzen Zen 4 CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads featuring a 4.8 GHz boosted clock speed. Rumors suggest the Fremont will feature a discrete GPU similar to the AMD RX 7600 and that the device is designed for use with TVs featuring a dedicated HDMI output. Valve infamously tried to get in on the home console market several years ago with a line of pre-built gaming PCs called Steam Machines, but their reliance on Linux and barely competitive pricing made them a very unattractive offer. Now that Valve has worked with the Linux community to massively improve game compatibility and the Steam Deck has proven to be a wild success, it seems likely that a Steam home console could also be successful, but we'll just have to wait and see. Stalker 2's PlayStation 5 release date was confirmed for November 20th. Base PlayStation 5 players will get support for adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, and gyro aiming. PS5 Pro owners will get an enhanced resolution, shadows, reflections, and other graphical improvements. Long-awaited 2D platformer Hollow Knight: Silksong finally has a release date. The sequel to 2017's Hollow Knight releases on September 4th for basically every platform under the sun. Silksong was originally announced as DLC for the original game as part of its 2014 Kickstarter campaign. In 2019, it was announced that the DLC had become a full game and would release as a direct sequel. Following Hollow Knight's insane success to the tune of 15 million copies sold to date, anticipation for the sequel has done nothing but grow. Meanwhile, the developers maintained near radio silence about its development. It was first revealed properly during an Xbox showcase in 2022 with a projected release date of within the following year. Previous reports and leaks regarding Nvidia's RTX 5000 series GPU pricing might be coming true. Pricing across the board for Nvidia's GPU seems to be getting closer to MSRP over time. New rumors about super editions of the existing 5000 series GPUs are also ramping up, including claims that they will match the original MSRP of the base model GPUs. Escape from Tarkov is finally leaving beta on November 15th after 8 years of being a beta game. The 1.0 update is somewhat of a mystery in terms of what it's going to offer. Recent updates for the game massively reworked how wipes affected the game. Several elements of this rework have been walked back, but it's clear the devs are preparing for big changes to how the game is structured and paced. Hopefully the 1.0 update will finally realize the game's vision of its maps being seamlessly interconnected instead of being separated behind loading screens and long matchmaking queues. In our final story this week, it appears Splitgate 1 is back on the menu. Following the spectacular failure of Splitgate 2's launch, the game studio announced it was shutting down the original game, pulling the sequel back into a beta phase to focus on reworking it for a proper re-release in a year. Fans of the original game were outraged at the news, considering that the sequel had abandoned the game's core arena shooter roots in favor of a hero-based battle royale experience. However, the devs have announced that the original game is getting a major update that adds all of the content that was active in development for the game, plus a peer-to-peer matchmaking system that'll let players continue to find matches without dedicated server support. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. If you guys enjoy getting your weekly news recaps here, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and up next, if you want to see some game dev behind the scenes, check out the latest devlog for the game I'm working on called Sea Beams, a spaceship action RPG, and it's coming along quite nicely. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.